getting everything up and running, so feel free to just hang out for a little bit. And just getting everything all set up, so hang out there with me. Alright, welcome everyone. Hope you are enjoying your day. We're going to get started very shortly. Today I'm going to give you a little tour on the workspace here. And I'm just getting things set up. There is a bajillion screens to get set up, so we'll get started in about a minute here. I do need to get a song that's going all the way through. But this is just looking around, so let's just switch to some ambient sounds for now. Alright everyone, we're going to get started very shortly. I'm just getting a few more things set up. And waiting for a few more people to come join in, so it's going to be an awesome show today. This is my first official show for 1980. And we're going to try to figure out how this works. Not exactly sure how it's going to work. But today we're going to be talking about a few things, especially a home studio setup that I have here. And I'll give you a little tour of what I got in this piece and how this is going to work. Alright, I think we can get ready. Hey everyone, welcome to the 1980 livestream show. I have a very complicated setup here, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time walking through that. And I'm going to put together a newsletter course, so I wanted to show you how I'm doing that and how you can sign up and get included in this process. So welcome. Thank you for joining. It's going to be an awesome show. My name is Daniel Huang. I am the founder of 1980. We are a management consulting and creative agency. So let's see. I got a couple things. So let's start off with a little desk tour. I want to show you how this space is working. And I am using quite a bit of equipment. I'm managing it all by myself. So bear with me as I work through some of this. So let's take a look at the little tour here. I got my laptop over here. And I'm running Restream, so it's going to the various different streaming sources. I have my Rodecaster Pro. I definitely recommend this for everyone. And I basically, let me go back a little bit. So those are my two podcast mics I have sitting here. They're facing different directions, so that gives me the ability to talk, and I'll show you a little bit later what multiple angles looks like. And I'm using this over here to be able to cut between camera A, which is right there, camera B, which is the wide shot up there, camera, I guess the mobile one where I'm showing you some space here, and I have a fourth one which is the desktop, which will be used for graphics, and I can overlay certain things. So let's check it out. There we go, overlaying some graphics right there, just letting you know that we are live and we are going to have a good time today. So let's take a look over here. There's just the control screens over here that's displaying information for me. And this is multi-view with the Blackmagic Atom Mini Pro. So it's quite complicated over there, but I just keep a glance over there and make sure that everything's looking good. And we're back to the show over here. So welcome back to the 1980 live stream. I'm going to be using this as a weekly space for me to share what's going on with the company, what I'm doing, and what I'm learning using all this equipment over here. And as you can see, I can switch over to a different mic and talk into a different angle. And so what this is all about is creating just a little bit more interesting space. And doing a double check because it looks like some of my live stream is not coming through very clearly, but that looks okay. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. So this is another podcast mic I have. It's the Shure SM58, and I'm using this as my secondary podcast mic. And the camera's mounted up here, so it gives me just a different angle. This is intended for you to kind of see the workspace I'm in, so you get the wide shot, and then we can switch back to the primary mic. And this is the one where now I'm talking into the camera, my A camera. And looks like Periscope is coming in a little weird, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll have to come back and figure that out. Okay. And if you're joining in live, feel free to leave a comment. For the most part, I'm not expecting anyone to be live because this is an experiment. And in soon later shows, I'll be able to um, have a little more script, have a little plan. But for now, I'm just testing out the equipment, making sure things are working. So welcome and joining me. That was the studio tour. I have quite a bit of equipment here. I am using the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro as a way to live stream. So it's bypassing my computers, directly streaming via RMTP or TMP to Restream, which then broadcasts it out to, I have it on Periscope for Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. So we'll see if that show comes through in each of these sources. Audio is going to the Rodecaster Pro, A10 Mini, and out to the internet. So bypassing on my computer. My computer right now is acting just as a dumb screen for me to just monitor, check, see if things are okay. Streaming is out at 12 megabits per second. 12 megabytes per second, so it's going pretty fast. Pretty high bit rate. And it looks like I'm live in all different places. And from this screen here, I can see how many people are joining in this stream right now. So very excited there. I'm using H2R graphics to kind of display the graphics there. So I have my logo displayed. And let's see, I can put a message up there. I'm going to pop in welcome to the show graphics and hide stuff like there. Eventually, I'm going to be able to put chat graphics into the space, especially as this becomes more of a live show. I'm going to play around with be able to screen share and just share a little bit about the space. And so the reason I have this studio set up here is because I do a little bit of content creation, recording training classes, hosting Zoom sessions. But I think for a lot of people, you don't need this kind of crazy setup. You do need something similar. And I'm putting together a online training class via mail, so you can sign up my subscription list, and I'll be pushing out just recommendations on equipment, what you can buy to get started, and how to get engaged. I am also starting a podcast, and this is why I have this podcast set up here. And I'm recording and interviewing with different people, and we'll be publishing to the 1980 podcast. I need to find a way to be able to share my screen, so give me a second. I think I'm gonna. Not sure I can do that with this graphics setup right here, but eventually I'll share my screen and I'll walk you through a couple other things. Welcome back to this direction here. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Are you interested in building out a home studio? I know with COVID coming up right now, we are all working at home, and I'm definitely wanting to do more content creation, and I want to exclusively move to virtual work. And so by doing virtual work there, it's going to require me to just work at a studio-like setting, have good audio quality, good video quality, be able to switch back and forth. So here's my other camera that's acting attached to an HDMI cord. So I could switch over here, and let's give you a quick demo again. And we can switch back and forth between different settings, and there's the live stream on Periscope. So that's hopefully that's not too bad. And so if you're coming in and just quick recap, here's the Rodecaster Pro. Audio is being sent to the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro, and via Ethernet, that green wire right there is the Ethernet wire, and that's sending the signal out to Restream on the internet. So it's not going to my computer at all. And here's Restream. Nothing secret there. So then Restream is pushing out to the various different platforms, and that's the way I'm getting this information out. I really like the setup because it's mostly done in hardware, so very low software interaction. And the reason why I like doing hardware is because the processing is happening on a different device than my computer. I have used Ecamm Live and OBS and other software out there, and it really just kills the computer. The computer's running really hot, and often it crashes, and then your live stream is dead. So this is a near production quality, broadcasting quality setup. And looks like I lost a connection somewhere, but that's okay. Yeah, that's my general setup. So welcome to the 1980 live show. Over the next couple weeks, I'm going to be putting together different topics, but let me start with just 1980 and why you should join the podcast. the podcast is really about 1980, and one, that was when I was born, but two, it's kind of the year of the Zennials. Zennials are born between Gen X and Gen Y, or millennials. And I remember growing up in a world before the internet, playing with dial-up modems, but also embracing technology at my prime years. And that's why I'm such a early adopter in technology. I love technology, and I'm able to troubleshoot. So as you see, this entire setup here is incredibly complex, and it just requires a lot of troubleshooting. There's a lot of cables and dongles that I have in this space, and I've just been able to play around with this space and kind of make it my own, make it into something that's useful and powerful, especially now that we're in a pandemic. We're working from home a lot more, and just making sure I have the right equipment so that when we're doing training classes, when I'm doing hosting something on Zoom, I'm able to get the best. Future sessions, I'm also going to show, now that we have the equipment set up, how do we use some of this? How do we kind of communicate, and how do we relay information a little bit better? So I'd like to do a little bit demonstration on PowerPoint tips. I'm using the beta from which lets me display graphics on the back end, and using a setup like this to live stream and share information and content. So this will be an ongoing show. I'm going to try to host this somewhat on Wednesdays around 11 a.m. Pacific time. That is 2 p.m. Eastern. So do definitely tune in. Welcome back. Subscribe to whatever channel, platform you're seeing this on, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook. The content will be pushed out and the show will be going. And I have the ability to add guests in the future, so we will do that. We'll engage with you in an audience perspective, and bring in questions, leave a comment, let me know what kind of questions you have. I'm looking forward to pushing out this course because it's just a lot of research. I've been playing around with a lot of hardware over the last over the last 6 months or so before the pandemic. And I learned a lot along the way. And now that we are in a pandemic, I'm trying to buy stuff, and you can't because everything's back ordered. And there's a lot of things I do differently, a lot of things I continue to do the same. And I've been pushing a lot of people to, I'll show over here again, give me a second, and to power it on. I do definitely, if there's one piece of equipment you get, I highly recommend getting the Rodecaster Pro. The benefit of the Rodecaster Pro is that you can hook up your phone. And so let me show you, give me 1 second. So there's the cable. I'm on Apple, so I do need the dongle adapter for Lightning. But if you're an Android, you just plug it into your 3.5mm jack. Even cooler is they also have this Bluetooth setting there, so you can connect to your phone via Bluetooth. Quality is a little bit low. I do like the cable a little bit more. But this adjustment here allows me to turn up, and if I'm talking to someone over the phone, I can record it, or they can join in via phone. You can call out to different people. It has been incredibly useful as I'm sitting at my desk to be able to make phone calls, but also take internet calls on different platforms like Teams, Zoom, whatever platform's available. So bringing in multiple sources, adjusting the audio levels in each one, and playing around with each. So hey, welcome and thank you for joining us in this 1980 Live. You can, let me give you, pop down the subscription. Subscribe to the newsletter. This is where I am much better because I'm not a live performer, and I'm learning how to do that myself. But a lot of the content will be pushed out via my newsletter. So that is the space to do it. So I definitely appreciate you, and thank you for joining the live stream.